Now we'll stay here just for a few breaths. So we're going to find our breath. And you might think, what do you mean find my breath? I can breathe, I know how to breathe, but we're gonna breathe in a way that serves the core and pelvic floor. So as you inhale, we're taking air in, we're thinking of filling the belly, and we're thinking as we inhale about softening in the pelvic floor. So in the groin area, as you inhale, the diaphragm comes down and your second diaphragm, your pelvic floor, comes down with it. So we're like a vacuum sealed chamber here. So the breath really moves everything. So we inhale, think about letting go. As you exhale, you can exhale out pursed lips. Think about the abs closing, the belly button coming in and up. So I like to use a little imagery like a jellyfish. So as you inhale, and then as you exhale, inhale, exhale. So the softening is just as important as the engagement. So a couple breaths, mindfully thinking about the core. Inhale, soften. Exhale. Just a couple more times at your own pace. Now what we're going to do with this breath is we're going to start to add just a really gentle movement. It may seem silly, but how we rebuild the core is really these micro movements and the breath. We're retraining our body to move with the breath and the muscles to fire properly. So oftentimes our posture gets out of whack. It's so common. Our glutes start to squeeze. We start to get rounded in the spine. Our core is no longer moving with our breath because our spine is out of alignment. So we start back with these basic simple things, which actually can be a little challenging if you're trying to pair your breath with the movement. So what I'm going to do is a little rock of the pelvis. And what we do is, as we inhale, we rock it away, make a little bit of space under your back. As you exhale, you tuck the tail under and sort of tighten in the core. But we're going to do it with the breath. So whenever you're ready for the inhale and just gently rock the pelvis away, like you're trying to touch your tailbone to the ground. As you exhale, the opposite. Tuck it under. And don't skip on the exhale. Let all of the air come out and even hold it for a moment with the air held out. And then inhale, soften. Think about releasing the groin. Exhale. And of course, men can do this too. We all have cores and pelvic floor muscles. It's this bowl of all these intertwined muscles and tendons and tissues, which activates on the exhale. Keep going. We'll do it a few more times. This is a great way to start your morning, just to remind your core how to work. Last one. So we're going to add on, same thing, but this time we're going to hover a leg off the ground. So inhale, press the pelvis away. Exhale, tuck it under nice and slowly. Hold that exhale out, hold that engagement of the core, and then hover your right foot off the ground. Place it down, inhale. As you exhale, do the other side. Hold it, find that engagement. Just take that heel off the ground. Now we're gonna see, lower it down, inhale. We're gonna see if we're firing correctly. Place your hands on your hip bones. Exhale when it comes. Hold that exhale. Hold that tightening. Tailbone's tucked under. Hover. As you've taken that right heel off the ground, did your hips shift or did they stay still? Lower it down. We're gonna try it without the inhale, exhale, just to see the difference. So don't do anything. Hands on the bones. Lift your left heel off the mat. Did your hips shift? So this is why I'm assuming yes. If not, good for you. You've got a nice core going on. If yes, this is why that exhale before we move, that kind of thinking about tightening in the core in and up before we lift our legs, before we bend, before we lift something heavy, is because you can see the difference. The stability of the pelvis is gone if we don't do anything, if we're just moving. My hips are shifting. All right, one more on each side. So inhale, find your exhale. We're doing the left side. Hold the exhale out, hover the left heel off the mat. Whew. All right, we're gonna reverse the pose. We're stretching out the spine, bringing those knees in. You can rock it out. If it's not okay with your spine to be twisting like this, even though it's really gentle, maybe it's not okay with your spine. Hand on each knee. Let's just circle. Okay, so that little tuck of the pelvis under, we're gonna try to keep that going as we move. So we're gonna add on, we've got both shins in the air. Now option one, just have your hands down by your waist. Activate your legs so your legs are strong, they're engaged, you're kind of flexing in them. Tailbone's tucked under slightly. I'm gonna start to release one heel down. And as I exhale, I'm gonna bring it back in. As I'm moving, I'm not doing this. So my ribs are not going with me. I'm keeping my tailbone tucked under, slight engagement of the core, keeping it strong. If you start to lose the connection, don't put your leg any further down. So maybe here you start to lose it, keep it here. Bring it back in with your exhale. So we're marching, but we're learning to recalibrate core. Another way to test where you're losing connection, you can place your hand on your tummy. If you start to feel it tenting out, you've gone too far. So you can keep it here and just do little ones. Exhale to bring it in. You can tap it all the way down if that feels good. If you feel like you're keeping your connection. I love to add options. So the other option 2, was adding the arms. So it's opposite. My right heel is down, my left arm is overhead. I'm gonna bring it all back in. And then I'm gonna alternate. So if you're just starting out, stick with option 1. We're gonna do a few more on each side. Stay with that breath. It's all about the exhale. One more on each side. And remember, you can take a break or stop at any time, especially if you're just starting out. You can do as many crunches or dead bugs as you want, but if you're not connecting, it's kind of pointless. So we're gonna have the hands down by the hips. This is a tiny little move with a lot of effort. So we're gonna exhale, tuck the tailbone under, and bring the knees closer to your body. It's a reverse crunch. So my lower spine, my back is staying long. It's not getting compromised. I'm not using momentum, I'm using control. With that exhale, let's go for 10. We've got about 7 more. 5, 4, keep forcing that exhale out. 3, 2, and 1. All right, we're gonna do the top half of the abs. Now keeping this core, these hips neutral. So it's not here, it's not fully tucked under, just finding a little engagement. You can take your hands behind your head. I like to bring them here. Stare at the ceiling, just a little. So again, we're finding that connection. Can we zip up through the core? Just a little crunch. If you're really on your game and you can connect to your Kegel, I Kegel while I do this. So you bring it in and up. Essentially just engaging pelvic floor, in and up, exhale out, peel off the mat, and down. So we'll go for 7 more. If you want to support your neck, just make a little bowl with your hands. Last 2. Last 1. All right, you're gonna bring your feet together, knees open. As you exhale, the knees come together. How far open you go is up to your body. It doesn't matter. We're not trying to force it all the way down. So whenever we can add lateral movement of the hips with the core, we're really building, we're adding on, preparing for life's movements. But the glutes fire with the core, so this is awesome prep. So stay with that breath. Got about 5 more. Last one. All right, you can straighten your legs, take a stretch. We'll come into Banana Asana. I like to give a little break in between work. So take your left ankle out to the left, cross your right over, and just gently guide your right wrist over to the left. So you're making like a loose banana, a long banana over to one side. Here's where we take a nice big breath into the rib cage. And we'll stay for 1 more. We'll just do the same thing on the other side. So uncross, take a little over to the right, recross, gently guide your left wrist over, but relax the arms down. Breathing into the open side of your ribs. All right, we're gonna finish the class with some clams and clam variations. So again, we're not going on our knees. Keep it nice and simple. I'm on my left side. I'm gonna support my head in my hand. And I'm gonna take my knees out in front of me. My feet are in line with the back of my body, and you can adjust this however you need to. We're gonna tuck the ribs in. So trying not to tuck it in, a little bit of tuck of the pelvis. All right, just the top knee is lifting up. And we're gonna find that same connection. So this is all about connection. Exhale as you take this knee away. And it doesn't matter how high you go. In fact, try not to bring it all the way up. Keep the feet together and just bring it up. Engage. and bring it down. Now, if you're doing this and you start to get you're tight in your hip flexors, you can press the knees away slightly. Do it with your knees a little further away so you've got some length in the hip flexor. You can even have your hand on the top of your hips. We're feeling these muscles engaging as we engage core. You can start with 5 or make it all the way to 10. We're keeping these hip bones pointing forward. I teach clams all the time in my postpartum community class. And we have this tendency to want to bring the hips all the way up because it feels like we're doing more. It can be frustrating to do these little micro movements with the breath. We want to get there faster, but I promise you this is important work. We're rebuilding the foundation from the inside out. If you went to a pelvic floor physio, they would give you very similar exercises. We'll go for 3 more. Find that breath, core, leg connection. Last 2. Last one. Okay, I'm going to take my ankle and I'm just going to lengthen through the front of the thigh. Just gently bring the leg back. Hug that knee in. If you're feeling fancy, you can grab your big toe and straighten out the leg or straight-ish. All right, while we're here, we're just going to take it out, straight out. Line up your body so you're supported. Little circles. You can take that top arm down for support. Little circles, even smaller. Circle the other way. All right, I'm going to bring the foot down and back in line with the body. You can rest that head down. You can add the arm. We're just bringing it up and down. Again, using that exhale. Okay, last one. And then we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So you can flip around so you can see the screen. Rest your head in your arm. Knees are bent. Tuck those ribs back. All of a sudden, feels so good. Okay. Place your hand here. Going for 5 or 10. And again, if it's pinching too much in the hip flexor, because you've got tight hip flexors like me, you can press the knees further away and see if that helps. Place your hand forward for support, connecting little engagements. We've got about 4 more. And then you can stretch out that leg. And bring the knee in. You could try straightening out this leg. One side's always harder than the other. Whatever you want to do, slowly with control, bring it in line with the body. I got my hand here for support. Little circles. Circle the other way. Gonna bring it down. You can do just the leg, take it in line with the body, or you can add the arm, perhaps doing 10 altogether. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let it go. You can stay here, catch your breath before you move on with your day. Check back on my channel on Fridays.